Adventure. Life is full of it. You can embrace it or ignore it, but it's still there. It's calling to you, beckoning for you to get out and live. At Adventure Tejas, we invite you to come along with us as we answer that call. Join us as we live the adventure.
Oh shit, I went down. Ah, damn it.
This episode is labeled as Telluride to Silverton, Colorado, but actually it starts in Ouray. The story behind that is we checked on the Colorado BDR website before we left to head up to Ophir Pass and make our way over to Lake City, and it was recommended on big bikes that you not attempt Ophir Pass because of a recent rock slide. So we ended up taking the highway around to Ouray. So that's basically where our story starts, because it was just nothing but pavement all the way to Ouray. At Ouray, we took Highway 550 south towards Red Mountain Pass. Off of 550 is a cutoff to Corkscrew Gulch and the road to Corkscrew Pass, Hurricane Pass, California Pass, Cinnamon Pass, and then on into Lake City. If you haven't ever been on Highway 550, it's quite a ride, and if you decide to stay on the pavement, you'd still have quite the scenic ride. A lot of scenery there, extreme drop-offs, but it is quite beautiful. Once we got to the turnoff for Corkscrew, we had a little bit of indecision, couldn't figure out exactly which way we were supposed to go, but we figured it out and headed up Corkscrew Pass. Going up Corkscrew Pass, it's a nice steady climb. It's easy to drive. There are some places that are a little steeper than what they appear on the video, but as long as you keep up your momentum, it's a beautiful ride up there and quite manageable. Once you get closer to the top, you get out of the trees and you do get into some loose gravel and a little bit of sand here and there, but I mean it's a little bit loose, but nothing that you can't handle. This Run to the Rockies ride that we do each year is so much fun and a good opportunity to be able to raise awareness for Ultimate Sacrifice Association and what they do for our first responders. We just feel really blessed to be able to do this. And we stopped a couple times, as you see here, for some breaks on the way up. See the scenery there, the different colors because of all the minerals in the mountains. And here you see Segundo and Stephen going up towards the very top of Corkscrew Pass. You have some tight switchbacks that are really, really steep. And anyway, Segundo made it up without a problem. Stephen made it up without a problem.
Oh shit, I went down.
Somebody, I won't mention who that was, myself, okay? Yeah, I tried to go up and take the inside and tractor it up, and just lost momentum, and that's when I went down. And so I caused everybody else to stop and come back and help me lift the bike. It was kind of turned upside down, so I couldn't get it upright by myself, and Segundo had to walk down, Stephen had to walk down. And anytime there's a crash, you never want to miss that opportunity for a good photo op, so Segundo obliged and got a good picture of me. Of course, anytime you are going to tip over, that's when you get a whole parade of vehicles that are going to come by, and everybody has to stop and stare. And I was just fortunate enough to have a whole line of Toyota Land Cruisers going up, and a couple motorcycles that everyone wanted to take a good look at the guy that tipped his bike over. So as you watch the Toyota parade go by, just let me say, if you haven't been on the Colorado BDR or have thought about it but not done it yet, you really need to. It is a beautiful ride, and we took it all the way up into Wyoming and then hopped over to Baggs, Wyoming, and got on the Shadow of the Rockies trail and rode that all the way down, kind of crisscrossed the state, and followed that back to Trinidad. And it was a spectacular ride. You get to see both sides of the state and do a lot of mountain passes. Just a beautiful ride.
Oh, right there under the outside. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, perfect. And you can take the inside out.
We made it to the top of Corkscrew without any further incidents, and then there's a slight descent as you go down from Corkscrew, and then immediately you start to go back up towards Hurricane Pass. And Hurricane was no more difficult. There were some larger rocks. It wasn't really difficult or any steeper, but we did have some problems there. We stopped on the way up because of some ATVs that were coming down. So I made a bad decision and stopped and got myself and Segundo kind of in a bad spot. The rocks were rather large, and his bike was just burning rubber trying to get up and over those rocks, and he just couldn't get going, and finally had to be towed by an ATV to get a good start again. After a brief rest and a snack near the top at Hurricane Pass, we decided to turn around and go back down, and that meant that we were going to bypass California Pass, but I think we were okay with that. We were all tired. Segundo was especially tired after fighting, trying to get his bike up Hurricane, and so we decided to go down into Silverton and then leave Silverton and head on back up to Cinnamon Pass and then into Lake City. The ride back down into Silverton is pretty smooth, and although it is dusty.
Oh man. Oh wow, holy smokes.
And here we saw this huge dirt devil on the road, which was kind of cool. But it was relatively uneventful, except for the time that I hit my rear brake going down, and I had no rear brake. I still don't know what happened. I could have missed the pedal, but I swear that I felt the pedal, pushed it down, and nothing happened. And going downhill made me a little bit nervous because this is much steeper than what it looks like on the GoPro. But next time I went to hit my brake, it worked, and so it was just a few 15-20 seconds of sheer panic there, and the rest of it was uneventful, and we made it on down into Silverton and refreshed ourselves before heading up to Cinnamon Pass. We plan on doing another run to the Rockies in 2020, probably August or September again. So if y'all are interested, stay tuned. Follow us on our Facebook page, Adventure Tejas, or go to our website, adventuretejas.com. That's it.